How's it going, Husker Nation? Scarlet and Cream Husker podcast back again for another episode. Back to recap the heartbreaking loss to Illinois season and conference opener yesterday. Kenny, what was it, man? More of the same on offense. What we've been bitching about for 3 seasons. Martinez's accuracy still very far off from what we need. O-line thought it would be a strength. Constant pressure on Martinez. I believe Illinois ended up with at least 5 sacks on the day. And it was constant pressure. It was happy feet Martinez because of it. What do we do? It's more of the same.
Well, I think we need to. Our running game was okay, but it wasn't as dominant, and we didn't sustain long drives. The sacks he did take, I think a couple he stayed in the pocket too long and tried to do too much. But we have to get that push up front. We didn't do it enough to get long runs, which ate up time on the clock. And it showed in the game. I mean, other than that, there were little things which we could have done better offensively. Of course, the throws, there were several that Martinez missed, the one in the end zone. Ooh. The one on the guy with the drag when the referee was taken out on the crossing route.
Yes.
There was another later in the game that he skipped. It would have been a tight catch that skipped in front of the tight end. But it's those little things that seem to be the same as last year. When are we going to stop doing those things in our offense?
Look, I honestly thought at halftime, I really thought we would see somebody else come in at quarterback. I really did. I thought Frost would pull the trigger. And when I saw Martinez come back out, I was just like, well, shit, all right, we're going to ride this wave. I mean, the sad part is the second half, he played better. I mean, of course, highlighted by I believe it was 75-yard run in one play that cut the deficit down. So, I mean, that gave us a fighting chance, and it seems like he felt more comfortable in the pocket. There were times in that fourth quarter where the O-line did give him plenty of time. They were creating the pocket, but it seems like he was scrambling more than not.
Right, so, which he did do. And like the runs he had, I was wondering if they were design runs or was it him just deciding to run. You couldn't really tell. Most of the time you could tell a design run compared to someone saying, okay, the pressure's pocket's collapsing, let me run. So like the touchdown, I was like, okay, it's wide open. Was this designed or was it just broken coverage and everyone the pass and he just took off? So it was a little confusing, but like I said, the missed passes that hurt. That hurt a lot. And the sack, I think what a lot of people have to look at is the sack fumble, which gave momentum. The defense was revved up for Illinois.
Oh, yeah.
And then the sack going into halftime, that gave them all the momentum coming in, starting that third quarter. And they did an 8-minute drive.
Yep.
All the way down. So
they played Bielema ball.
Yeah. It was just you shake your head at the stuff that happens.
We're almost in shock. I mean, honestly, yeah, we talked about it in the last episode that, yeah, we could possibly lose this game, but really in the back of all our heads, we're thinking, no. I mean, even if it was by 3 points.
Yeah, I was saying, get them now. It's his first year as the coach. Now's the time to get them because, he's going to start getting those kids in there and they're going to be a problem.
Yeah.
Because he has that track record of winning. So they're going to be a problem.
Exactly. Yeah. Bielema, obviously, I mean, and look, you touched on it with the defense. They did come out looking great. In my opinion, they did improve from what we saw last season and maybe even the season before.
Right.
My only concern with that is did we see that because of the caliber of our opponent? Because I can guarantee as this season wears on, Illinois is not going to be probably competing for their divisions. So
right.
It would be hard. I'd be very hard pressed to say that they would, especially a first-year coach. So my concern is, did they look that good just because of the level of their opponent, or has there been leaps and bounds where we've needed it?
I actually think they played well. I mean, we had the spots. We had the interception, but we had a typical what we've been seeing the last couple of years, bonehead play with driving the quarterback to the ground, something like that. Shot yourself in the foot. That was a 30-yard difference because I think along with that, I think there was a taunting or something else that happened with that penalty. So it was 15 plus 15. That's 30. That's smart football is what you need to play. It doesn't make sense. You know, when you do those type things over and over again, you should be taking pride in making the least mistakes as possible. But if you do make a mistake and it's something that just happened, let's say like inadvertent, you're going to talk to someone, you hit the face mask. That's okay.
Yeah.
But you hit the quarterback. He was going down. Once I saw the replay, I said, oh, that's a penalty. So it wasn't a bad call. Once I saw the drive in, I said, well, that was silly. But then to get a taunting penalty after that, you're a senior. You should know better.
That's the thing.
You know better.
And that's a lot of the chatter. I mean, especially that I saw on Twitter. It was playing undisciplined ball. Now, Frost coming in, we thought, you know, of course, the program was in disarray when he got here, complete shambles of what it used to be. And we thought he would bring that back in. And look, we're seeing the same thing. Granted, I can't believe I'm saying this. There was only 5 penalties on us yesterday. Granted, that's still too many.
Right. But a lot less than what we normally have.
For us, that's pretty damn good. I'll take it. I really will. So what I mean is the discipline seems, I don't know if they're having lapse in judgment in the heat of the moment and they cannot corral this in these young men, or is this just a matter of Frost does allow this, but we don't know that?
Right. Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, the way you put it, I would think it's more of, it's like a mental block for some of them. Like the stuff you see is basic things. Let's talk about the punt return, the failed punt return.
Yeah.
Put your foot on the 10, your heels, it goes over your head. You let it go. It's going to be what it is. It's either going to be down inside the 10, it's going to go in the end zone, but you get away from the ball. What he was thinking, to run back, to grab that, the moment I saw him run back, I said, this isn't going to be good. This isn't going to be good. I said, unless he's going to do a Dante Hall moment and somehow, some way, get out of it, wiggle and jiggle and shake about 15 people and hit the sideline. I said, this is either going to be a fumble or a safety.
Yeah.
And it was both.
Yeah.
It was both. And I just sat there and said, well, he should never be back there again, because that didn't make sense to me. It just, coming from playing under Coach Osborne, you did stuff and you didn't want to disappoint Coach.
Yeah.
I can remember the 2 plays I made that I will never forget. The University of Michigan State, when I picked up the fumble and I was like, oh man, what I got to do? And I got hit and I got the loss. Then that was it. After that, 4 years, never got another penalty. Stuff like that, like clipping. If you see the back of the numbers, don't block them.
Exactly.
I just don't understand how that even happened. It was just, that was mind blowing. I just sat there and said, what did I just see? What did I see?
Hey, I got to welcome Frank back to the podcast. My God, man, we're into it already. We're trying to get past the whole sting of it all. Matt's at a family reunion today. Let's see, I can see you still getting the audio done there. So hopefully Frank can hear me here.
He's showing the traps. He's showing us the traps.
Yeah. Yeah, Frank's got it going on, man. Yeah.
Somebody's been in the gym.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, Frank's a beast, dude. People don't know this, but Frank is a beast. Now, let me see here. What? Oh, there we go. All right. There we go. Now we got you, Frank.
Oh, did you hear me?
There we go. All right.
I sound great, so early in the morning here in Hawaii. Sorry, I thought you sent the text message at whatever.
It's all right, man. No big deal. We're basically just rolling through it. Half-hour segment. And of course, we're going to do our segment afterwards, probably another half hour for next week's game. We're just talking about how the hell we're getting over what we saw yesterday and why we're still seeing some of the same shit we've been seeing the last 3 years out of the offense. And what are your thoughts on Martinez and the O-line?
Well, I think we know what Martinez is. He can't read a defense. If his first read is not open, he's not going to throw the football. As you can tell, he ran the ball 17 times yesterday, and there's just something in that offense that I think is taking forever for these wide receivers to get open. I saw several crosses, and when the receivers cross each other, there's a safety sitting right there. You have two players covering. I mean, you have a safety covering two wide receivers, and those plays take forever to run. And then you also see the cornerbacks are playing 8 yards off the football. And so you have these wide receivers that are not very fast, and so they're running out routes that are 4 yards long, and the quarterbacks are jumping the route.
Now, I got to say, as far as defense goes, the guy that impressed me the most, which actually should come as no surprise, is Garrett Nelson. The guy is a damn animal. His motor doesn't stop. And he just seems to be almost in the right place at the right time, almost every play. I mean, the guy was making plays all day long. The whole defense really was. I was very impressed with the improvement of the D-line. We finally got pressure with just some down linemen we saw. I mean, how many sacks did we end up with, Frank? Was it 4 or 5?
I believe we had 3 total, 2 by
3?
Fidelius Payne, and then Demetrius Thomas and Nelson both had.
Yeah. But we had a lot of tackles. If you other than the sacks, we had a lot of tackles behind a lot of scrimmages.
Yes.
They stopped a lot of runs that were going to be started, which were crucial because it made Illinois punt a few times with them stopping them.
Yeah, and that hit by Garrett Nelson on their starting quarterback in the opening series. My God, that had to hurt. I mean, all of his weight coming down on that. He
was in a sling.
Oh yeah, you could tell the way he was writhing. He was done. But then that makes this loss all the much more sting because then we have a backup quarterback come in and he outplayed Martinez.
Yeah, you knew they were going to be one-dimensional.
Exactly.
And they proved it. They ran it. They just ran the ball. And then they ran it so effectively with the sustained drives that the touchdown to the tight end in the end zone, play action, the deep ball on the sideline, play action, because they came up for the run. So, I mean, other than that, the defense played well, but they ran it so well. We should have got more pressure on them at that point, knowing they're not going to throw it. And we didn't, unfortunately. And then it bit us in the butt with the play action and the passes. So,
yeah, the long run they busted on us.
Get 3 yards there and 3 yards there. Then all of a sudden you get 4 yards on third down. You have a first down.
Yep.
And that's what you did right after halftime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that long run they busted on us. We brought a blitz from the opposite side, and he just happened to squirt through that hole. As soon as he did, I was like, oh, he might go.
The one in the first half where they ended up missing the field goal?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was there was something on that if you pay attention to it, if you rewatch it. There could have been a holding in the face mask called on the lineman. If you watch it over there against Illinois, and it freed him up to get that long run. But fortunately, they missed the field goal. So I was like, okay, it didn't hurt as bad. But if you think about it, that changes the game a little bit because it pushes them back 15 yards. And then, who knows where they punt and end up, where we get the ball at.
Yeah, it was just a weird day, it seemed to me, that I don't know. I want to say that the excitement was there, but I wanted to see what improvements were before I brought out the passion. And unfortunately, other than the defense, I didn't get that chance. And it really hurt, being the lifelong diehard fan that I am, to just kind of ho-hum it through a Husker game. I mean, what the hell is wrong with us? My God. Frank, how were you feeling right toward the end of the game when, we have a minute left, no timeouts left, It's slim to none. Slim may have just left town. Was there any hope? Because I really didn't have any.
It reminds me of the Iowa game where you're so hyped up, and then all of a sudden Martinez does what Martinez does. And unfortunately, I don't know if he's that first season with Martinez, we all thought he was a gamer.
Oh, we thought Heisman Trophy in the future for sure.
And one of the things that my wife pointed out to me was, because she reads the Husker message boards, normally it's like, oh, I believe in our team. Don't worry, guys. We'll come back this season. No, all that shit's gone. It's all gone. Everyone's just like, yep, this season's not going to be a very good season. And I guess now on message boards, everyone's talking about Scott Frost is getting a divorce. His wife and kid lives in Florida. So I think everyone's just not really focused on the game anymore. I think we're just looking at all the negative aspects.
Good God, what is this?
Have you guys caught that interception by Cam Taylor-Britt that was taken away?
Yep. We were literally just covering that when you came in. So what was your thought on that as well?
No, one of the things that we talk about, there's several facets to the football game, and the refs are a big part of the football game, especially in today's football, because that to me looked like a legal hit. It was the back through it. The guy only took a half step. His helmet hit his shoulder pad, and Cam Taylor-Britt had a clean interception. And that was kind of one of those things where, yes, the Huskers got a big play, but then the ref turns against us, and then we just don't have. I think we have the willpower. I just don't think we know how to do it when we have something like that taken away from us, because they just go right down. Arthur Sikowski, which I talked about yesterday on the Instant Reaction show. The guy threw like 20-something interceptions as a freshman at Rutgers. And he comes out and he looks like a capable quarterback, 12 out of 15 for 2 touchdowns. And of course, none of those, there's one pass that he dropped in for a dime there towards in the third quarter. But outside of that, everything else was kind of short. And it kind of makes me worried is, Iowa and Wisconsin are going to run the same offense against us. And we weren't able to stop it against Illinois.
Yeah, I think we all know it. We just found out it could be a really long season, gentlemen.
Let's define long season. Is a long season 5-7, or is that 6-6, or 7-5?
I just want to see him make a bowl game. I don't care how they do it. I just want to see him make a bowl game. Damn it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping, especially after this first game. I mean, I didn't even know what to say after the game. Actually, just watching it, it was one that you watch. Normally, watch a game, your emotions go up and down on what they do. But I was kind of stuck in a way of like, how do I digest how we just blew a chance to win this game? I sat there and I was like, okay. And then when I went through the tape, because like I said, I fell asleep doing it because I was so pissed after the halftime debacle, going into halftime debacle with the fumble. Because when it happened, I said, there it is. There it is. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for a sack fumble. I was waiting for it. I said, there it is. Remind me of Ohio State last year.
Yep.
Was that last year up in Ohio State with the sack fumble? And
yep.
They took it in. I was like, there it is. Okay. And now it's like, we got that out of the way. It's me being a Cowboys fan, I'm gonna get on that really quick. It was like when Tony Romo was a quarterback, it was like, hurry up and get your interceptions out of the way. It's coming. When is he going to do it? He's going to do it now. Tony, please do it early in the game and don't do it at the end of the game like you did in the playoff series versus Minnesota. And you're known to do that. Get it out of the way quick. And when it happened at halftime, like I said, okay, all right. Then we get the ball back, and I'm like, just run it, run the clock out. We go for passes. He gets sacked. And like I told you, Brian, they get the ball third quarter.
Yeah.
They're a little bit charged up. And like I said, and like you said, Frank, it was a kickoff. Run 3 yards, pass 13 yards, pass 15 yards, run 7 yards, run first down, run 7 yards, pass 3 yards, run 1 yard, run 11 yards, run 4 yards, run no gain, pass, touchdown, wide open. 8-minute drive. 8-minute drive.
75-yard drive too, wasn't it?
Yeah, there's the game right there. 75 yards.
Took 8 minutes, I believe.
8
that
minutes.
drive.
8 minutes and 4 seconds.
Yep, that was straight up all Bielema ball right there. That's exactly what he wants his offenses to do. And the shitty part of it all is he got it to work right off the bat against our defense.
Yeah.
That's what stings. That stings.
Do you guys have any opinion on what Frost came out and said during his press conference, that basically they were taken surprised by what the Illinois defense did, and basically they didn't know what Illinois was going to do because they're first-year coaches? I mean, I would think that you would have an idea of what they're going to do, because I'm sitting there thinking Illinois is going to throw the kitchen sink at us.
Oh yeah.
And I just don't understand how the coaches were not prepared for that.
Yeah, Frost saying something like that, in my opinion, I don't buy that shit one bit. I'm sorry. I respect the man and I love the man for being here and being our coach, but I'm not buying that for $1 at all. You're prepared. That's your job, is to be prepared for all of the tangibles of the game. So if you're coming out saying you were caught off guard, what the hell was there to be caught off guard about? You should have been knowing these coaches. You know these coaches. You know who he's brought in. You know they're returning a shitload of returners or starters. So how do you not know? How do you get caught off guard, Kenny? I mean, come on.
And even if you didn't know, you make adjustments.
Yes.
That's what halftime is for. You make adjustments. You make adjustments during the game. You make adjustments at halftime. I can recall that's what we talked about during my time there at halftime. Coach Osborne would say, how are they playing this and that formation? Coach, they're inside more, this and that. Okay, we'll do these type of runs and this and that. Then it might open up this play action pass. It might open up, we can get a tight end here. You guys on the outside, it just depends. But you make those adjustments. If you're saying to make the adjustments to it, that's not good. And see, I don't watch pressers. I have to be honest, guys. I'm not that guy to watch that stuff because I'm tired of hearing all the same cliches. I don't watch hype videos. I don't want to see the video of them handing out black shirts. I don't want to see the video of them in the weight room. You can have, you guys and everyone else can have all that. Me personally, I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I want to see what you do on the field in between the lines. All the rest of that stuff, that's for everybody else. So, yeah, I mean, I wasn't going to watch a press conference. I don't want to hear the same stuff. I don't.
Yeah, I got to agree. I haven't listened to a press conference in quite a while.
So, Kenny, when they're playing uneven sets on defense, I mean, what should Frost do then? I guess that's the question, because he kept saying that they were in several uneven sets. I would suspect that big run by Adrian Martinez, because they were overloaded on one side, that, Martinez, that's the reason why he got that 75-yard. Kind of reminds me of the Colorado game. He beat one player, and then he's gone for a touchdown. Is that something that they're playing odd sets, that they should just run the other direction? Because we had no continuity on offense yesterday with the run game or even the pass game.
Yeah, it's almost like they're setting you up with the uneven set to run to that direction. You can either go, if you're effective running, you can attack that set. Then you can make them make the adjustments to get into an even set. You know what I mean? It just depends on how well your team is doing. If you're not doing as well, then you're going to say, it might be better for us to do this. It's like a team saying we're going to stack the short side of the field and make them go long. You know what I mean? On the goal line, we're going to cover this side. We're going to make them go here, or vice versa. So, I mean, it depends on how effective your offense is. Your goal on offense is to make them uncomfortable in the defensive formations that they're in. We saw it in, I'll go back to the 1998-99 game against Oklahoma State in Kansas City. I think they rolled out 2 extra tackles. Our defense made the adjustment.
Right.
Our defense make the adjustment. You make the adjustment either on offense or defense against other teams. That's football. That's football. Football is adjustments. It's not basketball where you say, they're screening up top, jump through the screen, whatever. It's football. Football is adjustments the entire game. Football are adjustments when you're running a route and how the defensive back is playing you and where the safety's at. These are things you do throughout football. You're thinking the entire time. So if you have coaches in the sky, they should be looking and see and say, okay, they're doing this. Let's attack them with this, and let's see how it works this series. And then you make the adjustments throughout the game.
Yeah.
It's just my opinion. I mean,
and that's been a big gripe about the program for quite some time now is coaches not making adjustments when they're needed, especially at halftime. So, I mean, this okay. And look, I'll let this be the final question for this episode. Is Frost's ass on fire now?
Like I said yesterday on the Instagram show, I think he has this season to develop the program, but I think next year is really his year where he's really got to prove it. I think if he goes 5-7 this year, I still think he has one more year. I guess one of the questions I want to ask you guys, since we know who Adrian Martinez is, and we're not going to a championship game. Shouldn't we look at something about a year or two down the road? Shouldn't we start thinking about maybe developing a quarterback that can help us win next year? I mean, is it really worth trotting out Adrian Martinez and going 5-7 versus if we play the back and we go 4-8, but then next year he's well developed and all of a sudden, we do get 7-8 wins. What are your guys' thoughts?
In my opinion, I said this earlier. I would have made the change at halftime of the first game.
Right.
Go ahead.
16 fumbles, 20 interceptions.
Yep.
Come on, you can't trust the quarterback. It's like this, Kenny. If your running back fumbles the football, you can't get the football.
Yeah, it's like every game, as me and Brian were saying earlier. It's the same thing. You see the same thing, him running to the sideline after the same mistakes. And you said, and it's like, I've seen this. Am I right or am I wrong? It's like, I've seen this. And it's like, dude, you have to stop doing that. I really can't understand how in year 4, you can get an extra year. You're still doing the same exact thing. It's like, this is who you are. This is who you are. You'll have the big plays. Just think how many yards he would have had if he would have taken the sacks.
Right.
I mean, this is who you are. It's that turnover. I can't say it enough. It's that, when is it going to happen?
Yep.
The snap up until that one point, there it is. Like me and Brad said, I said, oh, there it is. Okay.
I was waiting for it all game.
Twilight Zone. It's the Twilight Zone.
I was waiting for that snap the entire game, and as soon as it happened, that wiped out every good snap he'd had throughout the game. I said, there it is. That's exactly what I was waiting for. And when me as a diehard fan is sitting there waiting for something bad to happen to my team, shit's got to change, guys. Shit's got to change.
Yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow.
Have you guys talked about Mario Verduzco and kind of his role versus, developing a quarterback and us not having a special teams coach?
I think special teams kind of goes without saying right now. 2 missed extra points, you cannot have that. 1 in a season is bad enough.
How do you miss a field goal? How do you miss an extra point?
I don't know.
It's like a layup in basketball with all the other players on the other side of the court. How do you miss that? There you go. And you airball the layup. It's like airballing the layup. How do you do that?
And as far as Verduzco goes, I mean, I don't know. Is it just a matter of Frost is sticking with Adrian until he's gone? Or is it one of those where Verduzco is saying the kid's ready, but obviously he's not, and maybe we need a new quarterbacks coach?
Oh no, I'd rather have a special teams coach.
Well, yeah, we do absolutely fucking need that. That's no.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Frost he's loyal. I think these coaches are here to stay. I don't see him firing Mario. But I would prefer that we did have a special teams coach, because you look over the years under Frost, what he's had 19 losses now by 1 score or less.
Yes.
Or 1 score, excuse me.
Yes.
And because that was a touchdown or 8 points.
Mm-hmm.
And how many of those games were lost because of special teams? I mean, you look at the Wisconsin, the Iowa game. You're looking at this game here. Kind of the special teams have really hurt our football. From us winning. It's kind of this, Kenny. If your offense is struggling, can your other can the defense and the special teams hold up until the offense gets going?
Right. I mean, I can honestly say sitting here that we had Chris Brown and Josh Brown.
Yep.
Right.
Okay, he's going to make that.
Oh,
That was the automatic thought. They're going to make that.
yeah.
Hey, okay, we're not moving right now, but we'll get the offensive going and defense is playing well. The kicker, he's going to make that. Field goal, automatic. It was automatic. He's going to, if they missed, oh, wow, you all right? It
Yeah.
wasn't normal.
Got the flu?
They're going to make that. I don't know what these kickers are going to do. The punts weren't that well.
Oh, my God.
I mean, the special team since the kicker a couple years ago when he tried to do the kickoff and fell. Hey, man, look, I laughed over that for about 2 weeks.
You had
I
to.
was like, who does that?
Dude.
Who does that? Oh man.
Anybody that thinks he transferred because he wasn't going to get playing time, they're kidding themselves. You transferred because you just made the number one low light on Sports Center's not top 10, and you're a meme.
You're a meme.
Yes. You're a meme. That's exactly what it is. You got to
transfer.
transfer.
I actually sniggered and was laughing so hard when he did it. I couldn't believe it. I was like, we've been punked or something because this guy just
There's
it was all
nothing
bad.
worse than giving fodder to Iowa, Wisconsin fans, that just
But
nothing worse than that.
But as much success as this program's had, I mean, since the 60s, look, I guess we kind of deserve this in a way at some point. But when does it stop?
Right.
I think Frost has just really got to improve. I think he is improving as a coach. I don't think he's really making the play calls anymore. Like 50-50 now, from what I understand, that he's sharing that role with the offensive coordinator, which is something that I said when he was first hired, that I don't trust coaches that are offensive coordinators because of, when you have issues with special teams, well, who's going to get on the special team players? Frost is too busy. You just think about the offense. I mean, when he first got hired, wasn't the thing that he memorizes all the plays? Him and Mario memorize all the plays and they quiz each other.
Wow.
I'm guaranteeing there's a few that aren't passing grades.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think I'm going to talk about the loss. I think overall, from my perspective, the defense played well. 3.5 yards against the run. Against a team that rushed and the ball pretty well against us last year. So I'm not going to complain about that.
Yeah. And
we just got to go into our next game. Was it Fordham?
Yeah.
I think the thing that I want to see is how well does Logan Smothers look, or our other backup, the guy from out west at Catholic school. I can't remember his name right off the top of my head, but from what I understand, he's got a rock of an R. He's 6'5". He's around that 205, 210 range. You can see Frost has changed his quarterbacks from 6 foot to around that 6'4", 6'5" range. A little bit with bigger arms. That's my complaint about Adrian Martinez. He floats that ball up there.
Ooh.
I mean, I think he throws the ball about as hard as I do now. I mean, when I was much younger, I could zip that ball, but now I'm kind of just like a sitting duck.
I don't even try to throw a football. No way.
Oh God, I'd probably throw a shoulder
20 yards out of me. Yeah, I mean, maybe he can put him in for a series or two to see how well he does. Just to change the pace, and if something's not going well for Adrian, just put him in so he can kind of talk to him on the sideline and tell him, "Do you see what's going on here and there?" The normal coaching type of stuff, the things Coach Osborne would do when he was there, things Coach Solich would do when he was there, so that you can see the game from a different perspective. You see this, we ran this, you see how they covered that. Coaching.
Yeah.
Basic coaching, what I call it. You come out, let's see how he moves on here, just to get him the feel of the game, the backup quarterback. And then we go from there. But we know Adrian's going to do Adrian things. Adrian needs to stop doing Adrian things. And because you see his stat line and you're like, oh my God, he had 117 rushing yards. He got out of passing yards. But sack, fumble, sacks, missed opportunities. He was zipping the ball over. Like I said, the shot in the end zone. That should have been a beam right there to him. He was wide open.
Yeah, that was an easy pitch and catch.
No one near him. The drag where the ref got the elbow,
Yes.
people's champ, elbow to the back of the head, had to take him out. You know, he was wide open. How do you overthrow that? That's a beam. That's a catch, little catch.
Yeah.
And run up the sideline. That's 30, 40-yard gain, depending on how shifty and how fast he is. Possible touchdown, but that's a catch and run. But then you have throws he threw like in the first half to number 89. I'll get all their names.
I think it's Lure.
Memorized. And he caught it with the guy on his back.
Yes.
That was a hell of a throw.
Dropped it right in.
You said that's a hell of a throw. But then you have those ones in those moments that you really need that we're coming up short on. Those things change the game. Most people see it as just an incomplete. No, that changes the plays you run, possession, time possession, how you can set up everything. It's little stuff like that that the average person doesn't pay attention to that really affects the game. I mean, and it does. And you think about it, just, Frank, we talked about the punt return earlier, the failed punt return. That affected the game.
Yeah.
It's nice having a corner back there, receiving punts. Why?
I mean,
why?
Cam Taylor-Britt, he's my favorite player on the team. It kind of reminds me of Randy Gregory a little bit because he makes great plays, but then sometimes he makes bonehead plays, and you're just like, oh, come on, Cam. I know you want to be a playmaker, but sometimes it's better to play intelligently rather than always trying to be like Deion Sanders or something like that.
Doing too much, as I say, doing too much. But at least
that ball fall over your head, go in the end zone.
That's it. That's simple.
That's a play.
But I can say this: dispute number 9.
Ooh.
He didn't get a spearing penalty.
No. That was a hell of a hit too.
Yeah, amazing. He normally that head is in there. Amazing. I was like, oh, he didn't get a spearing penalty, a targeting in this game.
He's
all
learned.
right.
He's learned.
He's learned. But don't let me speak too early. Don't let me speak too early. A lot of games left.
That's true. All right, guys. Well, we'll close this one out. I think we've said pretty much everything that Husker Nation's feeling today. So, Frank, let everyone know where they can find you on social media and everything, my friend.
Oh, well, of course, we're at the Scarlet Cream. And then also you can find me at for Frankie B, and that's with an IE, with the B as in boy. So, yeah, that's where I'm at.
All right, Kenny, where can everybody find your ass, my friend?
On Twitter at Husker Noop 1911 on Twitter, Instagram Husker Noop 1911, and Facebook it's just me, Kenny Cheatham, on Facebook.
Yeah, dude, it's so easy to find you guys. It really is. I mean, you know your faces, your names. You can find you guys anywhere. It's hilarious. It's so easy. So, guys, if you haven't already, search them out, follow them. Comment to them. Comment to us. I mean, look, we'll talk about what we talk about on Twitter if that's what you want, for God's sake.
I talk trash on Twitter.
Yes, he does. And it is beautiful. It is beautiful. I love it when he does. All right, guys. Well, we'll close this episode out. Husker Nation, look, it's going to be another game, another week next week. So keep your heads up. We're going to get something going. Do we know when? No. So, but we're going to get there. I promise. We're going to get there. So for myself, Kenny Cheatham, our fearless leader coming back, Super Frankie B, and of course, the Killigans providing us with our intro, outro music. Thank you guys so much. We truly appreciate it. Love you guys. So for all of us here at the Scarlet Cream Husker podcast, we will see you guys on the next episode. And as Frankie always says, go big, red.
Big red.
And we'll always turn.